Beloved Creator, we call in Creator energy and all the forces for good to assist and bolster us in addressing corrections and removal of hostility, ignorance, or evil. We feel the hand of justice at our backs and we thank you. We acknowledge the hand of protection at our side, and for this and its continuance, we thank you. And we do not give energy to risk and danger, but are instead buoyed by combined strength of knowledge and that of the people, our fellows. Where there is concern or fear, we turn to one another for support. Where there is doubt, there is goal and hope. Where we encounter hostility or rejection, we prevail in the truth and knowledge we have combined into an unassailable force for good. Let it be so, and so it is.
My name's Ron Vroom, and I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I have a page I'd like to read. An explanation. A small percentage of the population involved in the unanimous Declaration of the United States of America 1776 and for most of the 1770s wanted to revolt. About 3% were actively and identifiably engaged. I have two Roman ancestors, direct bloodline, father and son, that fought for New York in our revolution. The concept defined in Bouvier, 1856, in American common law, all of us are sovereign. That is original jurisdiction. Article 1, Section 1. We are in a de jure provisional government on Oregon, aka Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, as of November 2022. Wars are controlled by banks and bar attorneys and the militaries they control. They have a de facto United States of Washington District of Columbia, and I think all over the world, with few exceptions. It was about 3 to 5% actually that succeeded in the revolt on the land and brought forth a confederation and perpetual union with articles that styled themselves the United States of America, 1777. That is the provenance of the several states, original jurisdiction. They worked their original jurisdiction as sovereign men on the several states as a system, and they were unable to govern. To govern, they needed to obtain a consensus. It required 100%. So they wrote a constitution for the several states that formed the United States, a government service company for the several states, and reduced themselves to 12 for the 1789 inauguration of George Washington. Vermont was a separate nation seeking statehood. Rhode Island and Providence Plantation did not ratify the Constitution, and New York kicked them out of the city. However, the 12 remaining coerced Rhode Island and Providence Plantation to return to the Confederation and Perpetual Union. Vermont, a sovereign nation, joined the Union. Washington District of Columbia, a 10-mile square between Maryland and Virginia, was dedicated. It remained the de jure original jurisdiction, the United States of America, in Congress assembled from 1789 to 1859, a proper congressional assembled, a de jure government of the United States of Washington District of Columbia, the 10-mile square, with forts, ports, and needful buildings, according to the Constitution. The first law of the land was the Constitution created by the several states, a confederation and perpetual union, styled the United States of America 1777, each a separate nation state, 33, with individual constitutions that will not conflict with the United States of America's Constitution circa 1859, the last lawful de jure iteration of original jurisdiction. Constitutions now total 35. Let's count them. There was 13, then Vermont and Texas as independent nations that joined the several states. All the rest were from territories such as Northwest Ordinance, Louisiana Purchase, Florida, California, the Southwest, the Pacific Northwest Territory, a very unique territory. The United States of Washington District of Columbia is the government of the territories. Oregon is the last de jure state added to the Union. Kansas was the first de facto state, and Nevada and West Virginia were both Liber Code federal states, de facto martial law. Fraud vitiates all contracts, either partially or completely. This is decided by Article 1, Section 1, Natural Rights Inherent in People. We declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, all free governments are founded on their authority, instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness, and they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper, aka Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, the de jure provisional government on Oregon, to be determined by each of the other 32 states and 17 territories as they may think proper when they form their social compact and do the work. See www.orsja.org for directions. There was no preamble ratified. It was an affectation for the persons in Washington, D.C., without value in law. It is not part of the first law of the land, to which that land is defined. What is left by the what is left of their 10 miles square on the Potomac River. Virginia took their portion back, now named Arlington. Our government service company, the United States, is one proper oath away, just as Oregon's de jure government is one oath away. A proper oath is to the proper de jure constitutions, with laws of nature and nature's God included, without exception, this year, 2024. And I yield.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. And then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.